right, guys, welcome back to Spar Scene MMA Show. Today, we're doing our best bets for this weekend's fight night. We got Tai Tuivasa versus TYBURA. Let's get into it.
Oh, show me the money, huh? Show me the money.
Charles, you sweet, sweet man with your beautiful bleached hair. Man, we love you.
4 more weeks. 5 more weeks.
Yes. I'm
going to get to these fight nights.
Exactly. These Apex filler cards. I'm not sure if there's a break, but we'll see. So we just coming off the heels of a wonderful pay-per-view. UFC 299 was awesome. It was explosive. Crowd was off the chain. Crazy finishes. But now we are going into, that kind of sleepy period where we get a little bit of an Apex fight card. This is Marcin Tybura versus Tai Tuivasa. And I'm going to be kicking off the best bets today with Christian Rodriguez versus Isaac Dulgarian. Now, my pick on this is going to be the slight favorite, Isaac Dulgarian, minus 140. Listen, I based this off of some really shoddy MMA math, but I have a feeling, okay? So hear me out. Raul Rosas Jr., everyone's favorite SpongeBob character. He came in hot. He was annihilating people with his wrestling, right? But his wrestling is really weird. He does a lot of stuff like trying to treetop a single up against the fence where the person can't fall over because they're held up by the fence. So he was doing a lot of weird wrestling things against Christian Rodriguez that ultimately gassed him out. And Christian, he's a veteran, man. He stayed in there. He stayed focused, composed, and he got out of trouble. Now, here's the thing, though. Even with the bad decision-making that Raul Rosas was using in his wrestling, he was still able to get Christian down. He was still able to do a lot of good work. It's just, I think, the experience that ended up winning the day. Isaac Dulgarian is a little bit of a dark horse, man. He's had one fight so far in the UFC. I believe he was Division I NCAA. DC had an interesting note, said he lost some kind of decision off of a weird disqualification that was totally bogus, apparently. He decided to switch gears, get an MMA. He is a menace. His double legs, his control. He finished that fight right near the end of the first round with some pretty thunderous elbows from the top. I think Dulgarian is going to surprise Christian Rodriguez with his wrestling. I think it's really top tier. I think he's a force to be reckoned with in the division. So on this one, I think even though Christian Rodriguez has been surging and putting together some wins, I don't think it's against guys like this. So I'm going to go with minus 140 money line for Isaac Dulgarian.
We'll see how that goes. We were 1-2 last week, so we need some wins this week.
We
were the one low win last week. Simon and I let us down big time. It wasn't our fault. I mean, our guys just didn't perform. It
was them. It's their fault.
It's not our fault.
I'm making calls right now. I'm making calls right now to make sure that we're good this weekend. Okay. That leads me to my pick.
Go ahead. You can go second.
Okay. My bad. So for my pick, it's a pretty easy choice. I'm going with Bryan Battle to beat LOOSA. He's the hometown hero. He trains around where we are, and I've been seeing videos on his Instagram. He's going to different gyms, getting a lot of experience, going to boxing gyms, grappling gyms, and Carolina Combat, which has some straight killers out there. So also Bryan's coming off a knockout win against Gabe Green, which we saw in person in 14 seconds. That was one of the best UFC moments I've seen in person, with the walkout and then the knockout. That was awesome. Then he had that submission against AJ Fletcher, that his last fight. So I would like to see a finish in this, and I would place a bet on a finish, but I don't know which one's going to be. Is it going to be a submission or a knockout? I think it's going to be either one of those, but the safe bet on this is just to take the money line at minus 139 for Bryan. I think it's a pretty easy pick for me, and yeah, so that's my best bet for this week. Bryan Battle, money line, minus 139.
Yeah, I think he's much more technical than Anja LOOSA. I think he'll get the win. That's a good. I'm surprised the odds are that low. I think it'd be like minus 200 or something, but it's a good pick.
Yeah. Well, LOOSA's no joke too. So we'll definitely see how Bryan Battle has improved, seeing how his striking's improved and his grappling as well.
I think after this win, he should. I mean, he needs to be ranked soon. I mean, he's undefeated. I had one loss to Fakardinov, and other than that, he's undefeated in the UFC. So I think he needs to start getting some respect that he deserves. My best bet is going to be Tai Tuivasa over Marcin Tybura, -130. Looked at Tybura's last fight against Aspinall. Yeah, it's Tom Aspinall. He's taking over the heavyweight division right now. He lost by round 1 KO. That was a sloppy fight. He was kind of like frozen the whole fight, kind of like against the cage, just didn't throw much at all. He was like a deer in headlights. And we all know that Tuivasa, he goes forward and he's going to throw his hands with all he's got. I think that's the perfect recipe to win this fight against Tybura. I think he's too stagnant. He's not mobile. He just stands there and just doesn't throw much. There's not much risk for Tuivasa here. They are heavyweights. Of course, there's one punch knockout power. But I think Tuivasa being 30 years old, Tybura's 38, his speed's down. His aggression is not really there. I think Tuivasa is going to take advantage of that. And I'll go money line. Of course, we need to get some wins under our belt. We're not doing so hot. So I'm going to go money line, but I think he can get the KO if you wanted to juice those odds up a little bit.
Yeah. I think as long as he can get it done in the first. I think Marcin only does well when he drags people into deep decisions. So I think he's going to have trouble making it past that first round with Ty. I do.
This is the first time we've all gotten minus odds, so it works out for us. Usually one of us has some plus. We're a little more conservative after the tough weekend.
Yeah. Jalton, let us down.
Jalton, Gilbert, the Brazilians, man. The Brazilians are not being nice to us. So we have no Brazilians this weekend. Take a break from them for a while, but
yeah, that does it for us. Make sure you guys subscribe and go ahead and comment who you guys have for these best bets. If you guys agree with us, let us know. If you guys have any other picks you guys think that might hit this weekend, also let us know, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.